The blood wouldn't stop. I pressed gauze against the gash on his shoulder, my hands trembling despite 3 years of emergency room training. He didn't flinch, didn't make a sound, just watched me with eyes like black glass, calm and patient, as if he wasn't sitting in the back room of a closed clinic at 2 in the morning with a bullet graze turning his dress shirt into a wine-dark ruin. "You need a hospital," I said. "No." His voice was quiet, final. I'd heard that tone before. In the ER, right before someone coded. Right before everything went irreversibly wrong. "This needs proper cleaning. Stitches, antibiotics, if it gets infected. Then you'll handle it." I looked up, met those eyes. Something in my chest tightened. He wasn't asking. "My name is Han Soyoung. I'm 27. I work the night shift at Mercy General Hospital in the heart of Seoul's financial district. I live alone in a 5th-floor walk-up. I eat convenience store meals. I haven't been on a date in 2 years. My life is small, predictable, safe." Or it was. Until 3 weeks ago, when Dr. Kang asked me to stay late and assist with a private patient. No paperwork, no insurance, cash only. The kind of case that made the hospital administrators look the other way as long as the money was clean. The man on the table had 3 cracked ribs and a dislocated shoulder. He never screamed, never even grimaced, just lay there breathing slow and even while I reset the joint and wrapped his torso. His eyes stayed on me the entire time, not leering, not grateful, just observing. When it was over, he dressed himself without help, buttoned his shirt over the bandages, pulled on his coat like he was preparing for a business meeting, not leaving a back alley clinic at 4 in the morning. He stopped at the door. "Your name?" Soyoung, Han Soyoung." He nodded once, then he was gone. I should have forgotten him, should have filed him away with all the other nameless, dangerous men who passed through Mercy General's unofficial trauma wing. The ones with tattoos and knife wounds and eyes that had seen too much. But he came back. Not as a patient, as a visitor. He appeared in the hospital lobby 3 nights later, stood by the main desk, hands in his pockets, perfectly still. Security didn't approach him. The receptionist didn't ask questions. He just waited until my shift ended, until I walked past him toward the exit. "Miss Han." I stopped, turned. "May I drive you home?" I should have said no, should have run, should have called anyone to walk me out. Instead, I heard myself say, "I don't even know your name." "Min Taeho." The name meant nothing to me then. It would mean everything soon. He drove a black sedan, German, expensive. The interior smelled like leather and cold rain. He didn't speak during the drive, didn't ask for my address, he already knew it. Pulled up in front of my building and waited until I was inside before driving away. It happened again the next night, and the next. By the end of the week, the other nurses were whispering. By the end of the 2nd week, Dr. Kang pulled me aside and asked if I was in some kind of trouble. I said no, because I wasn't sure if I was lying. Then tonight happened. Tonight, Min Taeho appeared at the clinic's back entrance with blood seeping through his shirt and a calmness that bordered on unnatural. He knocked once, waited, didn't demand, didn't threaten, just stood there until I opened the door and saw the damage. Now I'm stitching him up in a room that smells like antiseptic and copper, and he's watching me work with the same patient attention he's shown since the beginning. "This is going to scar," I said. "I have others." I didn't ask where, didn't want to know. My hands steadied as I worked. Muscle memory took over. Clean the wound, numb the tissue, suture in small, precise loops. I'd done this 1,000 times, but never like this. Never with someone so utterly still, so completely unbothered by pain. When I finished, I bandaged the shoulder and stepped back. "You should rest for at least 48 hours. Keep it dry. Change the dressing twice daily. And if you develop a fever, you'll take care of it." There it was again, that certainty, as if my compliance was already fact. "Mr. Min, I'm not your personal nurse. I have a job, a life. You can't just..." "Can't what?" He stood, moved closer, Not aggressive, not invasive, just present. The air between us felt heavier. "You can't expect me to drop everything every time you get hurt," I said. My voice came out quieter than I wanted. "I don't get hurt often." "Then why do you keep coming back?" Silence. He studied my face, my eyes, my hands still stained with his blood. Then he reached into his coat and pulled out an envelope, set it on the counter. "For your time." I didn't open it, didn't need to. I could feel the weight of cash through the paper. "I don't want your money." "Then what do you want?" The question hung between us, dangerous, loaded. I didn't have an answer. He buttoned his coat, moved toward the door, stopped. "I'll see you tomorrow night, Miss Han." And then he was gone. I stood there for a long time after he left. The envelope sat on the counter, unopened. Outside, the rain started, soft at first, then harder, the kind of rain that washes everything clean. I thought about calling the police, thought about quitting my job, thought about moving to a different district, a different city, a different life. But I didn't. Because some part of me, small, dangerous, undeniable, wanted to see him again. The next night, he wasn't waiting in the lobby. I told myself I wasn't disappointed, told myself it was better this way, safer. I clocked out, grabbed my bag, and headed for the exit. The rain was still falling, cold, relentless. I pulled my coat tighter and started walking toward the subway station. I made it half a block before I felt it. The prickling awareness of being watched. I turned, saw nothing, just empty streets, wet pavement reflecting neon signs, a few late-night pedestrians hurrying past. I kept walking, faster now. The feeling didn't go away. I ducked into a convenience store, pretended to browse, watched the glass door. 5 minutes passed, 10, nothing. When I left, the rain had gotten worse. I ran the last block to the station, took the stairs 2 at a time. The platform was nearly empty, just me and a couple of salarymen sleeping off their soju. I leaned against a pillar, catching my breath, pulled out my phone, no messages, no missed calls. Then I heard the footsteps. Slow, deliberate, coming closer. I looked up. 3 men, early 30s, leather jackets. One of them had a tattoo creeping up his neck. Another was smiling, but it didn't reach his eyes. Han Soyoung. My blood went cold. "I think you have the wrong person." The one with the neck tattoo stepped closer. "We don't." "What do you want?" "Just a conversation. About Min Taeho." I backed up, hit the pillar, nowhere to go. "I don't know anyone by that name." "Don't lie." The smiling one moved to block my escape route. "We've seen you with him, seen you treating him. You're his little nurse, aren't you?" "I'm just doing my job. He's a patient, that's all." "Patients don't get personal drivers. Patients don't get visited every night." Neck tattoo pulled out a phone, showed me a photo. Me and Taeho standing by his car outside my building. "You're close to him." "I'm not." "Then you won't mind delivering a message." Before I could respond, the smiling one grabbed my arm, yanked me forward. I tried to pull away, but his grip was iron. "Tell Taeho that the Southside crew remembers what he did. Tell him we're coming for what he took, and if he doesn't return it." The lights went out. All of them. The entire platform plunged into darkness. The men froze. I heard them breathing, heard their confusion, then I heard something else. Footsteps. Not hurried, not panicked, measured, controlled, coming from the far end of the platform. A single emergency light flickered on, dim, just enough to cast shadows. And there he was. Min Taeho. Walking toward us like he had all the time in the world, hands in his pockets, face utterly calm. The 3 men turned, saw him, and I watched their bravado evaporate. "Taeho," Neck Tattoo said, his voice cracked. "This isn't we were just." "Let her go." 3 words, soft, final. The smiling one released my arm, stepped back. Taeho stopped 3 feet away, looked at me. "Are you hurt?" I shook my head. He nodded, then turned to the men. "Who sent you?" Silence. I asked a question. Neck tattoo swallowed. Park Jinho. He wants the shipment back, says you stole from him. I didn't steal. I took what he owed. He doesn't see it that way. Then he's mistaken. Taeho's hand moved inside his coat. The men tensed. I held my breath. But he just pulled out his phone, dialed, waited. It's me, he said when someone answered. Send a crew to the subway station on 5th, 3 men, Southside colors. He paused, listened. No, just hold them. I'll deal with Park directly. He hung up, looked back at the men. My people will be here in 4 minutes. You can wait or you can run. Either way, you tell Park I want to meet. Tomorrow night. The warehouse on the East Docks, just him and me. He'll kill you. He'll try. Something in Taeho's voice made my skin prickle. Not anger, not fear, just absolute certainty. The men ran. We were alone on the platform. The emergency light flickered. Rain echoed down from the street above. Taeho turned to me. Let's go. Where? Somewhere safe. My apartment is. Not safe anymore. He was right. I knew he was right, but admitting it felt like stepping off a cliff. I don't understand what's happening, I said. I don't understand why. I know. Then explain. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he took off his coat and draped it over my shoulders. It was still warm from his body, smelled like rain and something darker, something I couldn't name. I'll explain everything, he said, but not here. The train pulled in. We got on, sat in the back car away from the other passengers. Taeho didn't speak, just watched the tunnels blur past, his face reflected in the dark glass. I tried to calm my breathing, tried to make sense of the last 10 minutes. Failed. Why did you follow me? I finally asked. I didn't. I had someone watching you. Since when? Since the first night I left the clinic. My chest tightened. Why? He turned to look at me. Because I knew this would happen eventually. Knew someone would try to use you against me. Use me how? Leverage, weakness, I have very few. You became one of them. The words should have terrified me, should have sent me running, but all I felt was a strange, hollow ache. I'm not weak, I said. I know. Then why? Because I care what happens to you. The train lurched, we rocked forward. His hand shot out, steadied me, didn't let go right away. You shouldn't, I said. You don't even know me. I know enough. What does that mean? He leaned back, released my arm. It means you're careful, disciplined. You work night shifts so you can send money to your mother in Busan. You haven't spoken to your father in 6 years. You eat the same meal every day because it's efficient, not because you like it. You read on the subway, mystery novels. You underline passages you find meaningful. You don't date because you don't trust easily. And when you're nervous, you tap your thumb against your index finger 3 times. I stared at him. He'd been watching, really watching. I didn't know what to say. That's invasive. Yes. You had no right. I didn't, but I did it anyway. Why? Because I needed to know if you were someone worth protecting. And he met my eyes. You are. The train stopped. Doors opened. He stood, offered his hand. I took it. We got off at a station I didn't recognize, walked through corridors that smelled like mildew and old concrete, emerged into a parking garage. His car was waiting. He drove us out of the city, away from the lights, into the hills where the rich lived in houses I'd only seen in magazines, passed through a gate that opened without him pressing a button, pulled into a driveway that curved through manicured gardens. The house was massive, modern, glass and stone in sharp angles. Lights glowed from within, warm and golden. He parked, killed the engine. This is your home, I asked. One of them. How many do you have? 4. 4 houses. I could barely afford one apartment. We went inside. The entry hall had marble floors, a chandelier that probably cost more than my yearly salary, art on the walls that looked expensive and incomprehensible. A woman appeared, middle-aged, kind face. She bowed slightly to Taeho, then looked at me with open curiosity. "This is Mrs. Cho," Taeho said. "She manages the house. If you need anything, ask her." Mrs. Cho smiled. "Welcome, miss. Should I prepare the guest room?" "Yes, and food. She hasn't eaten." "Right away." She disappeared down a hallway. Taeho led me through the house, into a sitting room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. The lights sparkled below us like fallen stars. "Sit," he said. I did, sank into a leather chair that probably cost more than my car. He poured 2 glasses of water, handed me one, sat across from me. "I'm going to tell you everything," he said. "And when I'm done, you can decide if you want to stay or leave. If you leave, I'll have someone drive you anywhere you want to go, set you up somewhere new, different city, different name if you want, you'll be safe. You have my word. And if I stay, then you need to understand what that means." I sipped the water, waited. "My family has controlled the Southside docks for 3 generations," he began. "Import, export, shipping, most of it's legitimate, some of it isn't. We move high-end goods for people who can't use traditional channels. We settle disputes, enforce contracts. We're not the biggest organization in Seoul, but we're careful, disciplined. We don't deal in anything that harms innocents." "Drugs?" "No." "Weapons?" "Sometimes, for people who need to defend themselves, never for terrorists or extremists." "People?" His jaw tightened. "Never." I believed him, don't know why, just did. "6 months ago, a man named Park Jin-ho approached me," Taeho continued. "He runs the Northside territory, wanted to partner on a shipment, high-value art, stolen from a private collection in Europe. The owner was corrupt. The art was blood money. We agreed to split the profit." "What went wrong?" "I found out Park planned to sell the art to a buyer who'd use the funds to finance a trafficking network. Women, children, I couldn't let that happen." "So you kept the shipment?" "I burned it." My eyes widened. "All of it?" "Yes." "That must have been worth 40 million won, give or take." I nearly dropped my glass. "Park wants revenge," Taeho said. "He's been probing my operations, testing my defenses. Tonight was him trying to find a weakness, and he found one." "Me?" "Yes." I set down the glass, stood, walked to the windows. The city looked so small from up here, so distant. "You should have told me sooner," I said. "I know. I could have been prepared, could have. Could have run, which is what I wanted, but you didn't." I turned. "Why not?" He stood, came to stand beside me, close enough that I could feel his presence. Solid, unmovable. "Because you're not the kind of person who runs," he said. "You walk into burning buildings to save people. You stay late to help strangers. You give until there's nothing left to give. It's who you are." "You don't know that." "I do, I see you." The words hit me harder than they should have, because no one had seen me in a long time. Not really. I was just the night shift nurse. The quiet one, the responsible one, the one who showed up and did her job and went home alone. "What do you want from me?" I asked. "I want you to be safe." "That's not an answer." He turned to face me fully. His eyes held mine. "I want you to trust me, to let me protect you. And when this is over, when Park is dealt with, I want you to decide if you want to stay in my life." "Why me?" "Because you're real. Because you don't want anything from me except honesty. Because when I'm with you, I remember what it's like to be human." Something in my chest cracked open. I'd spent 3 years building walls, 3 years staying safe. Small, invisible. And here was this man, dangerous, powerful, terrifying, offering to tear them all down. "I don't know how to do this," I whispered. "Neither do I." "What if I can't?" "You can." "How do you know?" "Because I see you." He reached out, brushed a strand of hair from my face. His touch was careful, gentle, nothing like the violence I knew he was capable of. "Stay tonight," he said. "Tomorrow we deal with Park. After that, you decide." I should have said no. Should have demanded he take me home, consequences be damned. But I didn't. Because some part of me, the part that had been lonely for so long, wanted to believe that maybe, just maybe, being seen wasn't the same as being weak. Okay, I said. He nodded. I'll show you to your room. Mrs. Cho had prepared a space that was bigger than my entire apartment. King bed, private bathroom, a balcony overlooking the gardens, clothes in my size laid out on the bed. How did you? I keep spares for guests, Taeho said, but the way his eyes shifted told me he was lying. He'd bought them for me, recently. Get some rest, he said from the doorway. Tomorrow will be difficult. Are you going to sleep? Eventually. You should rest too, your shoulder. Will heal. He started to leave. Taeho. He stopped, looked back. Thank you, for tonight, for keeping me safe. Something flickered in his eyes, soft, almost vulnerable. Always. Then he was gone. I changed into the clothes. Silk pajamas that felt like water against my skin, slipped between sheets that smelled like lavender and safety. I should have been terrified, should have lain awake planning my escape, but instead, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. I felt protected. And somewhere deep in my bones, I knew that tomorrow would change everything. I woke to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows. For a moment, I didn't remember where I was. Then it came rushing back. The platform, the men, Taeho's car, this house, this room. This impossible situation. I sat up, found fresh clothes folded on the chair, jeans, a soft sweater, still in my size, still too convenient to be coincidence. I dressed quickly, followed the smell of coffee downstairs. The kitchen was enormous, all marble and stainless steel and windows that overlooked the gardens. Mrs. Cho was at the stove, humming softly. Good morning, miss. Did you sleep well? Yes, thank you. Where's? Mr. Min is in his office, third door on the left down that hallway. She gestured with a spatula. But first, breakfast, sit. I sat. She placed a plate in front of me. Eggs, rice, kimchi, toast. More food than I usually ate in 2 days. I can't eat all this. Try, you're too thin. I picked up my chopsticks, took a bite. The food was perfect, warm, comforting, the kind of meal my mother used to make before I moved to Seoul. How long have you worked for Mr. Min? I asked. 7 years, since his father passed. He was close with his father. Mrs. Cho's expression softened. Very. His father was a good man, strict but fair, taught Taeho everything, how to lead, how to protect people, how to choose the right battles. And the wrong ones. She met my eyes, those two. I ate in silence for a moment, then asked the question that had been circling my mind since last night. Is he dangerous? Yes. The honesty startled me. But not to people who don't deserve it, she continued. Mr. Min has rules, lines he won't cross. He could have built an empire by now if he didn't, but he chooses smaller, safer. He only hurts people who hurt others first. The men last night, at the station, he could have. Killed them, yes, but he didn't, because they were just messengers. He doesn't punish people for following orders. He goes after the ones giving them. I thought about that, about the calm in Taeho's voice when he called his people, the precision in every movement, the control. He's meeting with Park today, I said. I know. Will he be safe? Mrs. Cho smiled sadly. He's never truly safe, miss. That's the cost of the life he leads, but he's careful, and he's protected by people who die for him. Why? Because he'd do the same for them. I finished eating. Mrs. Cho cleared the plates, refilled my coffee. You should go see him, she said. He's been awake since 5, won't eat until you do. I found the office, knocked softly. Come in. Taeho was behind a massive desk, papers spread across the surface. He'd changed into fresh clothes, black shirt, dark slacks. His shoulder was bandaged again. He must have changed the dressing himself. He looked up, saw me, Something in his expression eased. You ate. Mrs. Cho insisted. She's good at that. He stood, moved around the desk. How did you sleep? Better than expected. You. Enough. I doubted that. He had shadows under his eyes. The kind that came from too many nights watching doors, waiting for threats that never quite materialized. What happens today? I asked. I meet with Park, settle things one way or another. And if he won't settle, then I make him understand why he should. The words were soft, but they carried weight, the kind that made buildings crumble. I want to come with you. No. Taeho. Absolutely not. It's too dangerous. Then send someone to drive me home. I'm not staying here while you. You're not going home. It's not safe. So what? I'm supposed to just hide, just wait. He stepped closer. Yes. That's not good enough. It has to be. We stared at each other, tension crackling in the air between us. I'm not helpless, I said. I know. Then stop treating me like I am. I'm not. I'm treating you like someone I don't want to lose. The confession hit me like a physical blow. You barely know me, I said, but my voice came out uncertain, fragile. I know enough, I told you that. Knowing facts about someone isn't the same as knowing them. Then let me. Let you what? Know you, really know you, after today, when this is done. Let me take the time to learn everything I missed, everything I haven't observed from a distance. I wanted to say yes, wanted it so badly it scared me. What if something goes wrong today? I asked. What if Park? He won't. You can't promise that. I can and I do. He reached out, took my hand. His palm was warm, calloused, real. I've been doing this for 10 years. I know how men like Park think, how they move, how they break. I'll be fine. And if you're not? His grip tightened slightly. Then Mrs. Cho has instructions. She'll take care of you, get you somewhere safe, make sure you have everything you need. I don't want your money. I want. I stopped, couldn't finish the sentence. What do you want, Soyoung? The sound of my name on his lips unraveled something inside me. I want you to come back, I whispered. His expression shifted, softened. For just a moment, the mask fell away and I saw the man underneath, tired, lonely, aching for something he'd never let himself have. I will, he said. I promise. He lifted my hand, pressed his lips to my knuckles. The gesture was old-fashioned, courtly. It made my chest ache. Then he released me, stepped back. The mask returned. I need to go, he said. There are men outside. They'll keep you safe. Don't leave the property. Don't answer calls from unknown numbers. If anything feels wrong, find Mrs. Cho. When will you be back? By midnight, maybe sooner. And if you're not? He paused at the door, looked back. Then you'll know something went wrong, and you'll do what you're best at. What's that? Survive. Then he was gone. The hours crawled. I tried to read, couldn't focus, tried to watch TV. Nothing held my attention, walked the gardens, stared at the gates, waited for sounds that didn't come. Mrs. Cho brought me lunch. Dinner, I picked at both. She didn't comment, just sat with me, offered quiet company that I desperately needed. By 11, I was packing. By 11:30, I was checking my phone every 30 seconds. By 11:45, I was standing at the window, watching the driveway, barely breathing. At 11:53, headlights appeared. A black car, moving fast, too fast. It skidded to a stop at the entrance. The door opened. Taeho stepped out. He was alone, unhurt, walking like nothing had happened. I ran. Down the stairs, through the hallway, out the door. Didn't care that I was barefoot. Didn't care that I looked desperate. I reached him as he was coming up the steps. You're okay, I breathed. I told you I would be. What happened is Park. Handled. What does that mean? It means he understands now. It means you're safe. And you. He smiled, barely, but it was there. I'm fine. I wanted to hit him, wanted to scream at him for making me wait, for making me worry, for being so calm when I'd spent the last 4 hours imagining every terrible outcome. Instead, I grabbed his shirt, pulled him down, kissed him. It wasn't gentle, wasn't careful. It was desperation and relief and something I didn't have a name for. He froze for just a second. Then his hands came up to frame my face and he kissed me back. Slow, deliberate, like he had all the time in the world to learn the shape of my mouth. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. Soyoung, don't say anything, not yet. I rested my forehead against his chest, felt his heart beating, strong, steady, alive. I thought, my voice cracked. I thought something terrible happened, I thought. I know. His arms came around me, held me. I'm sorry, I should have called. Why didn't you? Because I needed to be sure it was really over. Needed to make certain Park wouldn't come back. Is he? Alive, but he won't bother us again. He signed papers, transferred territory, agreed to stay on the north side. He's done. You didn't kill him. No, I told you. I don't kill unless I have to. I pulled back, looked up at him. What happened to the art, the shipment you burned? I replaced it, different pieces, same value, sold them through legitimate channels, donated the profit to organizations that fight trafficking. Park got nothing. The criminals got nothing. The victims got help. You could have just kept the money. I don't need more money. I need to sleep at night. Something in my chest loosened. You're a good man. I'm a violent man who tries to be good. There's a difference. Not to me. He studied my face. You should go back inside. You're freezing. I don't care. I do. He picked me up, just lifted me like I weighed nothing, carried me inside, up the stairs, set me down in the sitting room by the fire Mrs. Cho had lit. Stay here, he said. I'll get you something warm. He returned with tea, blankets, sat beside me on the couch. We didn't speak for a long time, just sat there, me wrapped in blankets, him close enough that I could feel his warmth. What happens now? I finally asked. That depends on you. How? Do you still work at Mercy General? I thought about it, about the hospital, the night shifts, the loneliness. I don't know. You don't have to decide tonight. What if I want to keep working, keep my life? Then you do. I won't stop you. But, he looked at me, but I'll worry every night, every shift, because I know now what it's like to almost lose you. You never had me. Didn't I? The question hung between us, heavy, impossible to answer. I don't know how to do this, I said. Don't know how to be part of your world. You don't have to be. I want you as you are, exactly as you are. Even if that means me working, living in my apartment, having my own life. Yes. You'll really let me choose. Always. I wanted to believe him. Wanted to believe that a man like him, powerful, controlled, dangerous, could let someone like me just exist in his orbit without trying to change me. I need time, I said. Take it. And while I'm deciding, I'll be here, or at least a call away. What if I decide I can't do this, can't be with you? Pain flickered in his eyes, fast, almost invisible. Then I'll accept it, and I'll still make sure you're safe. Why? Because some things matter more than what I want, and you're one of them. I set down my tea, turned to face him fully. I'm not afraid of you. I know. I'm afraid of needing you. I know that too. And you're okay with that. No, but I understand it. He reached out, touched my face, gentle, reverent. I don't need an answer tonight or tomorrow or next week. Take your time, figure out what you want, I'll wait. What if I take years? Then I'll wait years. You say that now. I mean it. I believed him. God help me, I believed him. Can I stay here tonight? I asked. Just tonight. I'll go home tomorrow, start figuring things out, but tonight can I just stay? You can stay as long as you want. I want tonight. He nodded. Then tonight is yours. Mrs. Cho appeared with more blankets, more tea. She smiled at us, a small, knowing smile, and disappeared again. Taeho and I sat by the fire, talking, not about danger or violence or the future, just talking about books, music, the things we missed from childhood, the things we wanted to see before we died. It was easy, natural, like we'd been doing it for years. And somewhere around 2 in the morning, I fell asleep against his shoulder. Safe, warm, held. When I woke, it was dawn. I was in the guest room, still dressed, covered in blankets. Taeho was sitting in the chair by the window, watching me, protecting me, even in sleep. I smiled, closed my eyes. And for the first time in years, I felt like maybe, just maybe, I'd found the place where I belonged. 3 weeks later, I was still working at Mercy General. Still living in my apartment. Still trying to figure out if I was brave enough to let myself fall completely. But every night, when my shift ended, there was a black car waiting. And in that car was a man who looked at me like I was the only thing that mattered in his carefully controlled world. We didn't rush, didn't demand, just took our time, learning each other, building something that felt real. And then one night, I came home to find an envelope on my kitchen counter. Inside was a document, legal, official. A deed. To Mercy General Hospital. With my name listed as owner. I called him. What did you do? The hospital was failing, mismanaged, about to close. I bought it. You bought an entire hospital. Yes. Why? Because you love working there, and I wanted to make sure you always could. My hand shook. Taeho, this is insane. Is it? You can't just buy hospitals for people. I already did. This is too much. It's too. It's yours. Do whatever you want with it. Sell it. Run it. Burn it down. I don't care, as long as you're happy. I sat down, hard, stared at the papers. You're out of your mind, I whispered. Probably. I don't know what to say. Say you'll have dinner with me tomorrow. Just dinner. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all you want. For now. I laughed. It came out slightly hysterical. You buy me a hospital and all you want is dinner. I'd buy you 10 hospitals if it meant seeing you smile. You're impossible. I've been told. I looked at the deed again, at my name in neat, official print, at the future he was trying to give me. Okay, I said. Okay. Dinner tomorrow, but I'm paying. Absolutely not. Then I'm not coming. Silence, then grudgingly, fine, you can pay. I smiled. Good, it's a date. Is it? Yes, it is. I could hear the smile in his voice. Then I'll pick you up at 7. I'll be ready. We hung up. I sat there for a long time, staring at the deed, at the impossible gift, at the evidence of a man who was willing to move mountains just to see me happy. And I realized something. I was already falling. Had been since the first night he drove me home. Since the first time he looked at me with those calm, patient eyes and saw someone worth protecting. I was falling, and I wasn't afraid anymore. Because sometimes the most dangerous man in the world was also the safest place to land. And Min Taeho had caught me before I even knew I was falling. The restaurant was small, quiet, the kind of place where no one cared who you were or what you'd done, just good food and low lights and privacy. Taeho wore a suit. I wore a dress Mrs. Cho had somehow acquired in my exact size. We sat across from each other, ordered, ate. Talked like normal people, like we were normal. Tell me something you've never told anyone, I said. He considered. I wanted to be a doctor. Really? Before my father died, before I took over, I thought about medical school, thought maybe I could help people that way instead. Why didn't you? Because my family needed me, and I couldn't walk away. Do you regret it? Sometimes, but then I met you, and I thought maybe I could still help people, just differently. By buying hospitals. By protecting the people who save lives. I reached across the table, took his hand. You're ridiculous. I know. And sweet. Don't let that get around. Bad for my reputation. I laughed, really laughed, and he smiled. A real smile, the kind that reached his eyes. I have a question, I said. Ask. What happens now, with us, with this? What do you want to happen? I took a breath. I want to try, really try, not just dates and careful distance. I want to see if this can be real. It already is real. You know what I mean. I do. He squeezed my hand. And yes, we can try whatever you need. Whatever pace you want, I'll follow your lead. Even if I'm slow. Especially then. What if I make mistakes? What if I hurt you? Then we'll figure it out, together. Together, the word settled over me like a promise. Okay, I said, let's try. Okay. We finished dinner. He paid despite my protests and drove me home, walked me to my door, didn't push, didn't assume. Just kiss me goodnight, soft, sweet, full of patience. I'll see you tomorrow, he said. You don't have to. I want to. Okay. Okay. He left. I went inside, leaned against the door, smiled like an idiot. And somewhere in the city, in a house on a hill, Min Taeho did the same. Because sometimes love looked like protection, like patience, like a dangerous man deciding that one person was worth being gentle for. And sometimes safety didn't mean running from the storm. It meant standing in the eye of it, with someone who would burn the world to keep you warm.